Greetings, everybody, and welcome to episode 39 of the Sitcast, aka the Siblings in Cardboard podcast. I'm your host, Noah, joined by my buddies / co-hosts, Thomas and Donnie. Whether you're a veteran card gamer or a first-timer just testing the waters, we are all siblings in cardboard. Guys, how have things been since the last time we talked? And what about these new heroes?
Slamming for Nats. And Hades too.
Going crazy. Going crazy with school. That is about all that's up new with me.
Well, I mean, there's more things new with you, but school first.
Oh no. I've been on the new train since PTLA. That's not new. That's definitely not.
That pun's never gonna get old for me. Everything's gonna be new.
Fair enough. I mean, it's a good bit. We can run with it.
It works.
News showed off to be pretty decent, right? She had a good showing this weekend.
She had a really good showing. We'll talk about it here in a minute, but yeah, it was pretty good. It was definitely nice seeing her, on screen several times through, PQ in Montreal. Definitely a good place to jump off as far as new deck list goes, but anyway.
I think she's going to be really toolboxy, and you need to kind of like try to guess the meta you're going into.
I mean, it's kind of like it's an assassin. That's what assassins do. They have to be tailor-made for each tournament they attend. Because they have to know what their targets are. A very assassin-y thing to do, right?
I did 4 paper drafts this weekend.
Nice.
And I played what did I play? Man, I already forgot what I played Friday. I think it was Enigma. But I played all 3 heroes on Saturday. And I think I probably in my last drafted my best Flesh and Blood draft ever. It was just a crazy zen. When I drafted new, I lost in the 2-0 bracket, so I went 2-1, and I got to do broken new things on both the games that I won. What's funny is that the game that I won against an Enigma, the broken thing I did was they had a single attack in their entire deck, and it was a droplet, and I killed them with it. The only droplet they had in their whole deck, and I blew their home up with it. Like really, really killed them hard.
Oh, that's got to feel good.
Yeah. I hit it, and I'm like, good enough. This will come back later, and it did.
All right, so I did finally get an opportunity to play a few games on Talishar, and I got to do one of the grossest things that I've ever gotten to do in Flesh and Blood. I was playing the mirror, and the mirror match, my opponent didn't cite out their levels of enlightenment. I managed to snag that with Bonds of Agony, so I pulled levels from their hand and then put the other 2 into the banish zone. A few turns later, I cracked a couple of silver and had a few more blues in hand, pitched it. I kept you play all 3.
5 go again, draw a card. 5 go again, draw a card. 5 go again, draw a card.
Yes. Oh, that felt so good. About as soon as my opponent realized what was happening, they scooped. Because they were only at like 5 life or something. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful.
Have you ever pitched 1 blue to play 15 go again, draw 3 cards? It's pretty good. Plus some, right? If you picked up like a blue hiss or something. My other game I won on new was a new mirror, and I used inducements to like completely shred their deck apart. And then I did the thing where I like ripped like 2 blue hisses and like several blue mystic attacks and a couple blue assassin attacks out of their deck. I think I did like 6 attacks wide to kill them at the end of the game. It was like a ninja turn. It was really funny. New is incredibly fun in draft. However, I do think she's probably the worst in draft, unfortunately. We'll talk about that because I've got some feedback on draft in general. And anyone in our audience, I'd welcome them to comment when we get to that portion too.
Definitely. No, you've been real quiet. What have you been up to?
Work. Not a lot of Flesh and Blood.
You got fixed hours now, though.
Sort of. Yes.
Getting there?
We're getting there. Things will pan out once, I guess, orientation training, whatever, all sort of pans out. But I haven't done a lot of Flesh and Blood. Market wise, sure, opening packs, yeah, here and there, buying things always, but not really a lot of playing. So I've been theory crafting. I've watched some videos. I've been thinking about Dory, this and that. Josh is always really fun to watch. I already had a feeling he was going to say Dawn Blade was the best version of Dory. Not surprising considering the type of meta we're going into.
I agree.
Does it mean that it's a really good deck? Probably not. But we're gonna find out. We're gonna tinker around with it and see if we can make some ultra aggressive, which is the way I like to play it anyway. So it'll be fun. I kind of don't want to do the whole hatchets value anymore. I just want to break my chess piece on turn 2 and triple swing, and that's it. Like, listening's kind of back in certain matchups because I mean, if you don't want to block it, that's on you. You can keep all those cards. That's fine by me.
What do you do when the Zen just gut checks you and blocks for 7 with his gear, and then?
So I've been thinking about the gear shoves. I've got a couple of cards that I really think are silly, but they pretty much deny shoving gear. So I'm not gonna let you just shove gear and get away with it. Like puncture is obviously a card. It's gonna be a 3 of probably like to the end of time. But if you see me with red precision press, don't be surprised because I will give my thing piercing 3 if you try and block it out with gear. I'm not gonna let you just shove gear in front of it. Like I will play some off the wall things, and if I run Dauntless, don't be surprised either. I'm just not gonna let people do what they want to do. I'll make some weird things. We'll see what we can do. It might not be the best, but we'll have to.
You're running that Chorus of Iron song now, right?
Oh, it's a 3.
You gotta.
It's a 3 of. The Embrace of Determination's probably in the sideboard as well. I know it's only 1 prevention less, but it did spike. I mean, we could talk about it a little bit. I didn't really put it on the radar, but definitely is a card on a lot of people's radars for Enigma prevention if you have an extra hand slot that you're just going to throw a sideboard slot to. Having that on the board kind of matters. I mean, prevents 1 less. Preventing 1 less is make or break on like a 15 ward stack or whatever. So,
wow, it did spike.
Yeah,
dude, I think I got a Vambrace for like $4.
Yeah, no, they were. The funny part is a buddy of mine literally messaged me and he said I bought a whole bunch of them. He said watch, and I was just like, I was a little iffy about it, but he called it right this time. I can't win them all. I don't always jump on them early, but Vambrace is definitely a decent tech. It's not gonna like, it's not the end all be all, but it will make Enigma have to think about it.
Just kind of imagine like an arousing wave that you could play every turn. That's kind of what it comes into in the matchup, right?
Yeah.
You pay 1 resource, attack, react, reduce their prevention by 1 every turn.
It's pretty good. I mean, it's for certain decks, again, like that don't have access to Shuko or anything like that. It's pretty good, and even in case it's a little bit better than Shuko, because it's the damage you're dealing.
It's not better than Shuko.
Well,
Ninja just runs Shuko, man.
Well, I'm saying if you don't have access to it, I'm just obviously Shuko is free. It's free, okay, and it also blocks better
and gets rid of all prevention. Yeah,
and only the damage that Shuko deals gets through prevention, which I guess is the whole point. So
yes, so I guess this is a great segue to talk about card prices, especially if you're trying to buy cards for Nats.
Yeah, no, they're expensive. Actually, we're just gonna kick it off with Traverse the Universe. Why not? Because this card came out at a pretty hefty price, and I thought it was pretty fair. I think we talked about it right when it came out. In like the preliminary prices, it was like 100, and I had a feeling it wasn't going to stick at about 100. I think it was like 90 something when we talked about it. It went down to about 68, and like plenty of sold 68, 70.
Should have bought it.
The thing is it shot right back up. And it's sitting steady at 88 right now. And that's actually where I think it deserves to be. I think this is an 80, headpiece. 75, 70 it probably drops down to after a lot of the hype, but I think it stays about that.
I bet you if Zen or Enigma wins week 1 of Nats, you're going to see it spike to like $130 for the rest of the Nats season.
Cold foil's at 205, pretty adequately priced for that. It's probably one of the most beautiful cards I think ever designed. I know I say that a lot, and there's a lot of cards that look like they're the most like, but
yeah,
the intricate detail on that, the full art, like,
and the pairing with Cosmic Awakening for the same subject of the art.
Yeah, it's pretty
gorgeous.
Good. They really knew what they were doing this set. Like they made this a collector's dream. And the cards are going to be so good in the meta too. So it's a real win-win. I mean, there are so many cards I could have picked today. That I had to kind of just, I had to stop. Go look at the new cards that came out. They're all pretty adequately priced. They're pretty high. I think the one I really wanted to look at was Kindle. Kindle was like 24 on pre-release. I don't know what it is right now. It wasn't on the bestsellers like first 20 pages or something, so I don't have it. But Traverse the Universe, for those, is a Mystic headpiece. It blocks 2 with Blade Break, and it says when this defends, search your deck for an inner chi, reveal it, put it in your hand, and then shuffle. And it's Mystic, so any of the Mystic heroes can play it. Pretty much just guarantees you your hero power.
Kindle is $3. And
okay,
I
so
don't
it completely
understand
tanked.
I don't understand it. You could see the line is just dropped so dramatically. I don't understand it. This card is insane. I guess some people just need to get hit with a wildfire for 10, and then they're just like, oh, okay.
Kindle, I think, if it's hinted the way it is, and if you guys want to take that as like a speculation, the next All Arcane set we have, Kindle will go through the roof. So if there's ever a card to just buy like 100 of, which I mean, I'll probably end up doing it. Like I'm gonna gamble on Kindle. Like I'm gonna heavily gamble on Kindle. That card is a new key phrase, and it's just way too good. So
did you know, Noah, that you could play both Kindles? If you have 2 Kindles in hand, you could play both of them in response to each other. Draw blue, pitch the blue into Kano's ability, and then draw the other Kindle. Draw the card off the other Kindle. It just says +2 damage to your next spell for free.
You could technically stack that too if you rearrange all your cards with enough ops. So that's not actually impossible.
Cards nuts.
Yeah, no. Again, I think there's gonna be some silly things. Also note that like the wizard that they brought out right in Blitz, I think
Blaze
there's gonna be a lot. I mean, she works off of ops, but I think that like that type of style is probably going to be a little bit more prevalent. They're going to make some weird wizards. I don't think they're going to go back to that real taxing Icelander, but I think they're going to figure out a way to have a disruption wizard. Maybe not as annoying, but we'll see. But the whole Arcane set's coming, and for sure that card goes through the roof. But we're going to move on to Mask of Recurring Nightmares. So pretty much where I thought it would be, $60 right now, okay, which I think is pretty fair.
Come down again.
Yeah, it's I think we saw that one pre-selling for like 180 or whatever. It instantly kind of calmed down. I think people are still figuring out the new meta, no pun intended. But
yes, it was.
No, it was. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen a lot. It's gonna happen quite a bit. I think that card pretty much follows the same line. If any card's gonna be like Scowling Fleshbag price wise, I think it'll be this card. It's pretty adequately priced where it is. It's 75, so, maybe on a top end.
It all depends on her meta performance, since it is a single hero legendary.
True. Yeah, nobody else can use it. The cold foil one did sell for 215, but that's about it. They're sitting at 195 right now. So I'd like to say that they drop maybe 150 when enough people get their stuff. Probably not. A lot of people haven't gotten their cards yet too. So these are still, I would consider preliminary prices.
Mm-hmm.
You got to understand, if people bought them and they're being shipped, they probably shipped on Friday, like myself, and they haven't got here yet. So give
based
it a few
on her popularity and potential meta share, do you think the mask is kind of similar to where Flamescale Furnace was before Dromai LL'd?
I
It's in a
think,
different slot.
I think, I mean, the slot kind of, in some ways, makes it better. Means you don't have to pay like a
Eh,
bunch of money for a balance of justice and a crown of
but
providence. It kind
at
of
the same
saves you.
time, you are contesting those two headpieces. So I'm not saying Mask of Recurring Nightmares isn't worth it over those two, but
But
if
with
it
flame scale, you're
was,
contesting tunic,
yeah, but Flame Scale is just way better than Tunic for
or
Dromai.
specifically
that hero,
Dromai.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Fi in some cases maybe plays it too, but like the headpiece slot's a little weird. I'm excited that they gave it to it. I think they left it open for Redback Shroud and other things for people to innovate. I don't think they really wanted to pigeonhole you. They definitely didn't want to make another assassin chest piece. It just wouldn't be right. I think they're still trying to figure out where Redback Shroud fits because it's a great chess piece on paper.
Mhm.
Just kind of needs to work its way in.
If you were going to like make something work for new, what other piece would you make legendary? Right?
Mm,
Because the headpiece is always related to card tempo, and that's what new her entire shtick is, manipulating
think
card tempo.
I think
Yeah.
they picked the right slot. I think giving her the option of those three headpieces is the correct choice. I think because I think Shriek Razors and Flick Knives are already well established. I think her boots plus Black Tech Whispers, if you want to do something crazy, I mean for whatever reason. But and then I think the chess piece, like I said, is already well contested with quite a few good options. So I felt it was the right choice. I don't know. It's Balance of Justice and Crown of Providence are some really good cards sometimes, but I think the way new playstyle is going to work is she's not really going to care about that. She'll gain her card advantage and her value back elsewhere. That the extra draw or the extra like cycle at Arsenal would give you.
Well, there's also the fact that you don't really want to block with it until the late game, so you do lose those 2 points of life
That's true.
until the very end of the game. That is something to consider. Where Crown of Providence and Balance, you can just cash in early in the game against a deck that doesn't really care about on hits like Brutes most of the time.
I think
Being able to cash that in early can save a little bit of tempo.
I think as a new player into something like KO, you need to shred their hand. Like I don't think the extra 3 block or maybe 4 if you top deck a D react is
Yeah.
going to save you against KO. You really want to, Persuasive Prognosis, Bonds of Agony, Command and Conquer, and then have that reaction with the headpiece fairly consistently and shred one or two cards from their turn each turn. I think that's how you're going to
try
beat
to keep
KO.
them
If you're
off
not doing that, I think KO is going to beat the crap out of you.
Yeah. That's how
And
you're going to
Zen.
gain your value for sure. I mean, New's hero power isn't always relevant in the like what she's doing. I mean, you don't always want to steal a blue. So I think having that option to dump into the headpiece or dump into the hero power is like perfect for her. I mean, it's the assassin way, right? It's the I can do either or, and you don't know which one I'm gonna do. And there might be a better line for me stealing a card from your graveyard. You might think I'm gonna banish your card, and I might take that pummel and pummel my CNC anyway. I'm serious. Like there's some weird lines, which it's coming at the end of the podcast. I'm gonna make that reference again, so just side pocket it. But Mask of Recurring Nightmares is a Mystic Assassin equipment headpiece. It's a once per turn attack reaction, costs 3 chi, so need to have an inner chi to pitch. Target defending hero banishes a card from their hand. Blade Break 2. Absolutely insane. I mean, it's
good
card.
It's Coronet peak, but way better. Although Isolator could not have had that type of power, or she would have been so oppressive.
It's this weird mid-gamey thing, right? Because you need to get it online by getting the chi.
Right.
And then at the end of the game, you're probably going to have to block with it. So you got to put it right there in the mid game.
Yeah, it's her tempo swing. It's a way back in. It's a way to keep parity. It's a way to threaten the hand when you still have you're just throwing a 1 or a 2. Her cards are really underrated when they're not doing unfair things, and so you need things like that. You really do. Otherwise, she would kind of be a pushover in some situations. So I think they thought about it really well. They definitely thought about the card, and they made it strong, but they made it strong for a reason because there is a drawback to the hero.
I mean, most of her attacks come in for 1, so that's
Yeah,
the thing.
yeah.
1-ish.
To be fair,
1-ish.
I really like the
Ish.
Bonds of Agony, activate headpiece, play Alluring Inducement. I really like that line a lot.
Yeah, because then you just get to take cards, put it in front of it, shred if it's a blue,
Get a
banish
choice
it.
card from the top.
Yeah.
You hit the 2 reactions you need to turn on
Yep.
the Bonds of Agony, right?
Yep.
Was it 3? It's 2, right?
3.
It's 3?
Bonds of Agony's 3.
Oh, so you got to break the black
You're thinking of
text.
Double Trouble.
Yeah. Well, it's still good with Double Trouble, too. Man, Double Trouble's also an incredible card.
Double Trouble.
Double Trouble seems a little too hard to keep getting that value. You know what I mean? Like, it's good when you get it right, and then otherwise it's like, well, it's like...
Dude, it's a blue head jab that comes in for 3. That card's cracked.
But you gotta really react twice on it. You're not always going to have that many cards in your hand.
What?
Sometimes. It depends.
A hiss or a slither turns it
New
on.
does
on
block
its own.
very well, though. 100, yeah, I know. And there's plenty of ways to generate that. And I like that New's cards block for 3. Again, she's well designed. She's really well thought out. The next card we're going to talk about, you guys have mentioned, it's through the roof for probably all the right reasons. And that's Levels of Enlightenment. That card's sitting at $35 right now, comfortably.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just gotta avoid playing a hero that plays that. Oh, wait.
The pattern, like, if you look at the thing, it's almost like one of those heartbeat monitors where, like, it came out and people were like, it's a pretty good card. It was like $20 and then 25, and then it kind of dipped down and then it just shot all the way back up. And so it's comfortably selling at 35. Rainbow Foil's selling at 46, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah,
That's not the EA, right?
That's not even the EA.
at?
You're talking
EA
about
is probably really expensive.
It does have a extended art.
Turns out a blue card that's almost on rate with E-Strike at a base level and over rate above E-Strike at a high level. It's pretty good.
92 for the EA right now.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the EA is, by the way,
there's just so many good
impeccable.
hits in these boxes. These boxes are so fun to open.
Yeah, there's gonna be those duds, or there's gonna be like, oh, I didn't even get anything. But like the chases are quite far and few. There's plenty of marvels. There's plenty of fun stuff. There's the gold pack too. There's just a lot of things.
You
that
can even
feel
get
fun.
extended art of some of the common equipment. You can.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw someone got a extended art Koi Bliss kimono. I don't
That's
know.
so
I don't know if
cool.
Arousing Wave and
No,
that's.
I don't care about those.
Yeah, I don't know if Arousing
There's
Wave and
only 2 pieces of
stilettos
the
and
common
stuff.
equipment I care about.
Yeah, those might be promos for later or something. You know, like armory stuff. But
oh,
who
even
knows?
those extended art slippers.
But there's a lot of
I
of
pulled the cold
extended
foil setup
arts, a lot of marvels.
The stilettos.
Oh, congratulations.
This is the money
Yeah,
set.
that was nice.
Levels of Enlightenment is a 3 block, 3 attack, blue. So it pitches for 3. It costs 1, blocks for 3. I think I said that. When this attacks, choose 1 for each blue card you've pitched this turn. Crazy part is a lot of these heroes, maybe minus Zen, though Zen still likes to pitch blues, pitches blues. They all pretty much work off of blue.
Then only pitches blues.
Well, good news then. Everybody gets to use this card. And New gets to use it even more. So don't give New this card. When this attacks, choose 1 for each blue. Draw a card. This attack gets +2, and this gets go again. So if you think about it, if you pitch 3, you pretty much hit the nuts. You're drawing a card, you're getting a 5 go again. It's wow. Like, it's really good. It really,
Yeah,
really
silver
good.
and another
Typically-
blue and
Typically, its floor or its base usage is the go again and the draw card, right?
Which is already, by the way, so good.
Yep.
Think,
You
just
spent
thinking
1
about it.
resource for 3 go again. Turn on your chi effects, right? Turn on your transcend effects. Because one for 3 go again is not overrate. It's actually underrate, but it's a blue card.
Mm-hmm. It blocks 3.
And it did block 3, so
It curves really well with the daggers. The daggers cost 2. That costs 1. So
well, if the
like
dagger
again,
hits, now you're already like above
yeah,
rate when the
I'm
dagger
just,
hits.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like the
'Cause then
meta
you're-
curve is so good.
Then you're coming in for 5, draw a card, go again. Like,
Oh man, no, It's not hard to see why this card is where it is.
6 draw card go again.
It's because she gets the +1. Yeah,
the +1. I always forget about the +1 on the Beckoning Mistblade.
It's kind of funny because I think the 6 actually makes it more fun to block. Like the 5 is so annoying because you don't want to give it the overblock, but like you fair block the 6. But I mean, that's just for blockers.
I mean, you're not blocking that card at all. Like anytime you see that card hit, unless it's threatening lethal, you're just like, nah, no blocks, because you're going to mess me up with the next card.
Yeah, it's vanilla damage. It's the next thing that's going to hurt.
Let's continue with. I have it set up to where we got away from the cards from Mistveil, but we're going to continue. I wanted to look at some of the Marvels really quickly. So, New Alluring Desire Marvel is at 300 right now. Makes sense. I already could tell. Yeah, well, it's there's a lot of tax you're paying on that card. Remember,
Yeah,
like there's.
I don't even know if that card's going to get played.
It doesn't matter. It's just the tax on it.
The only sacred art I'm 100% sure will be played is Enigmas.
This is just new for sale.
Yes. Oh, the adult Marvel hero. I thought we were talking about the sacred art.
No, New Alluring Desire Marvel. You're paying the tax for how good that card looks, and just how absolutely stunning she looks. I mean, like just be real. I mean, I could never play that deck, and I would still want to own that card with all my heart. But there's somebody that's going to own it first if I pull one, so I can wait.
Fingers crossed. I am trying to work out a deal, hopefully tomorrow, where I may be able to get one.
Ooh, okay.
It depends. It depends.
That's fast.
If you do get it, you let me know, and then I can celebrate. But either way, I'm celebrating because I know exactly who's getting it. I'm not even worried about it.
Dude, it is so tempting.
I'm dropping it right in front of you, and I'm just gonna say, you take it or leave it. Because
it is so tempting to pick up a Zen for 170.
Leave it.
I know you're not gonna leave it. I'm just gonna slide it over and say, there you go.
Dude, Zen is only 170. That's so tempting.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think his art is great. The birds in the background, the way he's on like the ledge and stuff.
I really
like Zen's art a lot.
Have great art. We're gonna talk about. I pulled Enigmas for the next one. Enigma's sitting at 214.
Dude, the news got the Dommy Mommy tax. God,
yeah, I was gonna say,
she's so expensive.
Yeah, she's
because everybody wants to play Assassin, man. Assassin is so much fun.
You're definitely paying some tax on that.
It's the waifu tax.
There's a waifu tax.
Hard one, because we always like attribute the illusionists of being the big simps. Like,
no, but this is simp level, but for assassins, because the assassins finally have like. Uzuri's a fun looking hero, just not as alluring as obviously the Alluring Desire. Like Uzuri's got that rough, rugged look.
New is the ultimate waifu. I mean, I don't normally care about the whole waifu thing. I've always thought it was a big meme, a big joke.
Yeah, until New came out.
Until it got
I'm partial to Dash. She's got the nerd appeal for me.
Something about redheads.
Yeah. Everybody's got it. I mean, I've been an Azalea main my whole life, so I get it.
I thought you were on Enigma, man. I mean, we were talking about Dory earlier. I'm like, that doesn't sound like Enigma cards. What was the deal with that?
I think you would like New because it plays like Dory but has actual disruption.
I told you, I'm gonna try and pick up all three decks. I think it would be fun to just play all three of the new heroes and have a good time. And, Enigma scares me the most because the playstyle feels like I'm playing blue Magic. Like I'm back playing Magic the Gathering and I'm playing a blue deck a little bit. I'm playing very reactionary and
I think you should see some of the deck lists. I think you're kind of maybe thinking of like the day 0 and before decks. I think you should actually like explore like some of these decks as they're like building up, because Zen has changed a lot. Enigma has changed a ton.
I bet. I think Nathan had it right. He was talking about his tier list on how the heroes were going to evolve, and how people were going to aggressively, like they're going to shave off cards, so they had more of an aggressive Enigma versus this ward heavy type, maybe like wall type situation. Especially for the mirror and stuff, because I feel like that would be a really boring mirror if you're just throwing wards at each other. But yeah, no, I definitely need to do my homework. I'm not going to say I'm a master at anything. So Enigma Marvel 214, Zen we put up at 175. So they're all still really good hits. Wouldn't feel bad about getting any of them. We're going to move into cards though that have spiked outside of that, and one card in particular has been on the list before, and it's dropped, and it's Surgical Extraction. It's back up to 25, believe it or not. It's a blue. It blocks 3. It's an assassin card. It's pretty good.
Comes in for 5, go again after a Mistveil.
Yeah, feels pretty good. It's got a contract keyword on it, which is decently relevant. It's Silver Generation. If you hit it, you're going to be banishing cards. You're probably going to have it hit. Surgical Extraction is from Dynasty. It's an assassin attack action. Comes in for 4, blocks for 3, costs 2. It's a blue, so it pitches. Says contract. You're contracted to banish your opponent's blue cards. Crazy enough, somebody else likes banishing blue cards. Whenever you complete the contract, create a silver token. When this hits a hero, banish the top card of their deck, look at their hand, and banish a card. Wow. So let me tell you who really wants this to hit and will probably make sure it hits.
And the 2 cost is actually really great too, just because it curves so nicely into all the 1 cost assassin attack reactions.
Yep.
You don't say. That's crazy. It's almost like
weird how this card is going up in price, huh? We were just talking about the waifu tax.
It also like curves well in just like the really like mediocre hand of 3 blues and a Surgical Extraction, because you're just alluring Mistveil, Spider's Bite.
Yep. I mean, it feels. I was gonna say it feels bad. I mean, to get poked with both those daggers, even though the dagger doesn't have piercing, like still coming in with the Spider's Bite is so annoying. It makes the blocks even worse. You're already blocking for less if the Spider's Bite hits, and then you have to deal with all the attack reactions and all the shenanigans. It's fun. Assassin's got some really fun tools. I'm glad that the archetype is getting its day. Speaking of cards and assassins, this card has shot up quite a bit, and in fact, I was like, this card has always been on my radar, but I just was like, there's like, when's it going up again? Another Dynasty card, still the best set. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. And that's Leave No Witnesses. It is, yeah. It's funny enough, right? Crazy.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. Also, really good art. I wish there was like a full art extended of Leave No Witness. James White, if you come across this.
Imagine if Wounding Blow had almost the same text as Command and Conquer. That'd be like a really good card, right?
Right. And I wish there was a card like that, but like this might be somewhat similar to it. Leave No Witnesses is a red. In fact, it costs 0, so it only pitches for 1, but it costs 0. It comes in for 4. That's a mighty nice breakpoint. It blocks for 3. It has contract. You're contracted to banish your opponent's red cards, so you're not getting blues. Whenever you complete this contract, create a silver token. When this hits a hero, banish the top card of their deck and up to 1 card in their arsenal. Wow.
Oh, wait, so you're saying it's Command and Conquer and it does deck damage and you can get silver?
Yeah.
That card sounds broken.
And it comes in for 4 and it costs absolutely nothing. So it's the absolute
probably
best.
The best Codex of Frailty target.
It's
It's
abusive.
certainly up there. I mean, Death Touch is kind of nuts too.
You ever?
Yeah, but Death Touch doesn't really disrupt.
I mean, Tunic counter take 8 is pretty good disruption.
Yeah, but think about if your opponent didn't have a card in arsenal, you forced them to put an attack action in there, and then they discarded a card that they had to block with, and now they can't block the Leave No Witnesses, and now you just get it for free. And so whatever they put in their arsenal, you go, hey, that's a cool card. Well, it's gone. Oh, dude, Assassins. Codex of Frailty is so nasty, by the way. $75 still. We're not going to talk about that card. That card should have never been printed.
I got 3 of them that I need to pick up from you still.
That card should have never, ever, ever been printed. Ever.
What are you talking about? It's great. It's a great card.
So out of control.
Dude, I love shooting Searing Shot off of 1 card.
Yeah, I like, who doesn't want to just pull whatever they get one out of there. Oh, it's so gross. You get a ponder.
It should not have been a ranger card. It should have just been an assassin card. But
Hey, that's not fair.
oh, it's completely fair.
I wasn't
strong
saying
feelings about
that
Rangers
during
still.
Lexi. I was raging. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna say that. I've always raged against Bolt and Shot. Bolt and Shot's it's the problem in Ranger rather than anything else.
Bolt and Shot's quite an expensive rare too. But speaking of rares, it's not as expensive as this rare, which crazy enough, it's making a comeback. That's right. This has to be the most expensive rare. Okay, I guess if you count Civic Steps and stuff like that, non-equipment rare. Growl is at $10 and selling. It's a $10 rare. I just want everybody to put this into perspective, okay?
Doesn't make sense.
It's $10 because it came out of Round the Table.
It's $11.
Oh, I know, and it's selling.
Yeah,
Yes.
someone has listed 59 of them up on TCG Player for $10.75.
Larry's there he is. Go Larry's Game Shop. He figured it out. Okay, he said, "Wait a minute." He said, "This car is going up. You can only get it from Round the Table." He said,
"This
Hold
man
my
cracked
wallet.
100 boxes around the table, and he sold 100 Civic Steps, and now he's just like, I'm just making free money now."
Dude. Yes, pretty much. There was a time Around the Table was actually down to about 40, 45 on TCG Player, and so you could have gotten it at like a steal. And
Man.
if you think about it, you've just
Remember when I called you ridiculous for buying like 4 of them?
Yeah, I know.
You should just like manifested all that money you wasted on basketball cards and just bought Round the Tables.
Everybody thinks it's foolish until this stuff happens. And then it's like, well, no, you figured it out. It's like, well, sometimes you win. So I got 36 copies of, That All You Got, and they're not that good right now. But those 36 copies of Phantom Tide Moss say otherwise.
The Blitz collections that you bought for Mistveil, what are you doing with the EA stuff out of the new deck?
They're sitting right here. All I did was open up all 3 packs out of each one of them, left all the Blitz decks sealed, and I owe Ning a mat. That's about all I have planned for any of this. I might keep a Blitz deck of each for myself to have like the cards and to fool around with, but sky's the limit.
Sweet.
Yeah. I already had a feeling. That's why I buy 3. This is why I do this stuff. It's not for me. It's for later on when somebody else goes, well, what kind of crazy person did that? It's like, yeah, it's me. So Growl comes out Around the Table. Yeah, I know. Yeah, welcome back to Around the Table. But Civic Steps went down, so it's okay. The box is evening out.
Okay, really though, is Growl even being used right now in the Zen list? Because I don't remember even seeing it.
Maybe.
Let me tell you.
It's good, right?
Is just somebody on some sauce for gnats, or what is up with that?
It's good. It's a scar for a scar that doesn't need a conditional go again, right?
Runaways, instead of going on Hatchet's Story, has everybody showing up on Zen, and Growl is the centerpiece card. That's what it is. Okay, it has to be something crazy. It's the biggest psyop ever, as people would call it.
It might be a psyop because there's a whole lot of chatter on Twitter about what is the secret deck going into Nats, and everybody's
I'll tell you why
hinting that
I'm not
it's
high
Zen
on
or
Growl.
something.
I'll tell you why I'm not high on Growl. It doesn't have the word combo on it.
It sure doesn't.
True.
So, like, Pouncing Key does have combo on it. So you can use your Zen hero power to search for that card as a chain extender. But Growl's it's fine. I mean, it's a head jab that has an extra +1 attached to it conditionally. And people play head jabs all the time in Flesh and Blood.
Yeah.
Growl is a 0 cost red, so it pitches for 1, blocks for 2. If it blocked for 3, it'd be insane. 3 attack. It says when this attacks, the next Crouching Tiger you play this combat chain gets +1. Go again. It's a rare. It's $10. It's $11. It's
wild.
It's unheard of.
If I were trying to like budget out a deck, that would be where I would just run the 2 copies I got from buying the thing earlier and just be like, I don't need a 3rd copy of this card. I'm not paying $11 for this.
If you guys thought you could avoid the snag war, You're wrong, because it continues to go up. We're going to talk about it again. It's at 15 right now. It sells as high as 17. It's sold as high as 20. It's sold as high as 30 in rainbow foil.
Dude,
And so I want you guys to understand that if Snag becomes like this end-all be-all where like New's a boogeyman, and all of a sudden they're like, we gotta stop her, and everybody's like,
that's not going to happen.
There's no way.
I'll go ahead and tell you, New is not a
be,
boogeyman.
That has to be like a knee-jerk reaction.
Snag
100% is. It's going to crash.
Is so specific. It's not like Warmongers where you can see other like heroes that this could shut down, right?
Hold on.
If you are playing Snag in your sideboard,
you gotta understand.
You have been hurt.
Snag is going to be in the sideboard.
You have been personally offended by New.
Like,
but
I think KO for sure.
It's not just New. It's any card that of its own text would get buffed. So any of the Crouching Tigers that say I get buffed for playing X.
No, you're not playing Snag in the Zen. Never.
And in
Never,
Katsu.
ever.
I'm just
you're
saying,
not playing it in Katsu.
Targets
you know who you play Snag
multiple
against?
heroes.
You play it against Dorinthia, Dawnblade Dorinthia, and you play it against New. There's literally no other heroes in the game that it actively
It's only
affects.
attack action cards.
I thought it.
It's
only attack action cards. So it literally only
attack
affects
action
New.
cards can't gain attack from their own effects.
I thought it was.
Or the effects of attack reactions.
That card's garbage.
So Bonds doesn't get buffed. Things don't get buffed. It's actually way better than you think on paper.
No, it's incredible into New.
And Ninja.
It is backbreaking into New.
How's
it's
it
100%
good into
backbreaking
Ninja?
into New.
Because Ninja cards buff themselves.
You're gonna really put a blue conditional non-block in versus Katsu? You've lost your mind.
Yes.
What Ninja cards does buff themselves that are regularly played?
Descendant Gust Wave, Bonds.
Bonds does not buff.
Bonds buffs itself.
No, it doesn't.
It does not.
It does. Doesn't it say?
It does not.
No, it's just coming in for 4, buddy.
You're talking to two ninja players. Bonds does not buff itself.
Okay.
Dude,
look.
Dude, the first time you ever snag a Descendant Gust Wave, I'm going to be like, you're dead.
Cool.
100 wins?
That is not what you need to be worried about with the Descendant Gust Wave, man.
You just spent a card to not block Descendant.
Yeah, but you couldn't block that anyway.
Hey, guess what? The Descendant's only buffed if it comes after Surging Strike, which isn't even my good turn.
Look, Snag's real.
It's
into
it's
New.
Not.
It is a
it's real against New.
Silver bullet into New. It's hilarious. You throw a 1 block in front of the Bonds of Agony, like on your boots or some crap, and you throw a Snag down, and the New goes. It's like you have 3 Buzzsaw traps in your deck.
Collapsing trap.
You do.
Was it collapsing trap?
You do have to wait until they react to do Snag, right? Snag.
No, it's retroactive. The text that's on the card isn't the text that it's Oracle text that it's retroactive.
Sure is.
So the text on there, it reads.
It's not accurate.
The way.
It's
the
better
way the
than
text
it reads, but it's still only good into New. Please do not run this in your sideboard. If New is not a problematic matchup for you,
just run it.
You are just wasting deck space, and for some reason,
anyway.
you guys are making this card way too expensive on TCG Player.
Run it, Zen. I mean, Zen's gonna hurt you.
We could segue into.
It's not gonna work.
We could segue into the Battle Garden with this because 2 News did get into top 8 in the PQ Plus, so she is a threat.
One more. Ancestral Harmony's $30.
Yes, that card is cracked.
I just had to throw it out there.
That is the dumbest blue starter in Zen by a long shot. It's not even close. If it misses, it doesn't even matter. It's
wow.
Ancestral Harmony, they said, hey, it's kind of good. It's like Art of War. And then Zen came out and they said, no, it's way better than you thought.
It's so funny. You play the Ancestral Harmony and they flip like a blue Descendant Gust Wave. And even on the blue Descendant Gust Wave, you go, I'm dead.
Dang.
I will never recover from this value that you just got off of your first card that's turning on your Transcend cards. Ancestral
Harmony, is a blue block 3. Your attacks to the combo get +1 this turn. Banish the top card of your deck. Fittest combo you may play it this turn. Go again. It's what more could you want? Really, what more could you want?
It has a chance of being a Art of War that is card equal.
Yep. Yep. No, it's. Oh,
And it was good
wow.
in Katsu, despite being a total brick of a card sometimes. Zen, it just turns the turn on, and you could do the broken transcend stuff and get the chi going and threaten a bunch of damage. It's really good. I can see why it's $20.
30.
30. Oh god.
Yeah, they're $40 rainbow foils, and they're $30 normals right
why
now.
is
Yeah,
Flesh and Blood so expensive? I'm glad I already have my copies.
It's.
I feel kind of bad for selling you those copies.
I mean, I think I bought them for like 17 or 18 a pop. So, but
something like that.
Yeah. Oh,
welcome
man.
to the TCG world. The next day, your cards just multiply in value, and you don't know why.
You know who wasn't in the Battle Hardened top 8? Zen. What's that? For some reason. It was 2 Katsus, which is crazy. I'm thinking one of two things happen. Either the Zen lists are just not figured out, and you just have all these non-blocks in your deck, and you're just getting punished for them, or everyone who's like testing for their Nats in their Nats teams are like, you can't take this deck to a Battle Harden right before Nats. Just not allowed. And they're like, fine, I'll just take Katsu.
There's definitely got to be a lot of concealing. I think some of these, I mean, I'm not saying a lot of teams probably hide information, but like, let's be real. They probably do. You know, like, it's a fully competitive card game, right? Like, Flesh and Blood is competitive.
And tech cards, those 1 through 4 cards sitting in your sideboard can just have such a big impact because of the nature of Flesh and Blood and how many cards you see in a given game.
Yep.
And sometimes you have these rogue lists that are only going to be effective if no one shows up with any tech for it, right? So
we've seen it before.
But all right, Battle Hardened Montreal. I really want to talk about this because really have to talk about Noah Clark, aka Dark Odious. The dude won the whole weekend.
Yep.
He won the Battle Hardened. He had like the most cracked sealed deck ever. It's from what I've heard. I think he had a Restless Coalescence and a Manifestations of Miragai in his deck. Right. Yeah. Wow. He's just playing Classic Constructed and Sealed. It's pretty cool. And then he played Enigma in the PQ Plus, and ooh, man, that Prism game. That was like the one game I really sat down and watched the whole game. That Enigma versus Prism game, he picked that Prism apart.
He's got a lot of practice playing that matchup as well. And playing
it was really
Prism,
apparent because the Prism's just like Red War Toon Herald, turn 0, and you're just like, oh man, this is gonna be rough right off the bat. Like, things are hitting, and he's losing his entire hand. He's not getting any board presence, and then suddenly the Prism wasn't hitting anymore, and the shields were just starting to build up. That was a really impressive game, and kind of sad the Kano got scrubbed out by the Katsu. I really wanted to see the Kano versus Enigma matchup and see how that plays out. I'm surprised Katsu picked up a win there. Kano's strong right now, but if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be a ninja.
Yeah, turns are limited.
Katsu was on fire through every round that we saw him playing. I mean, it was definitely a ninja weekend.
Were there any Zens that were getting on camera? Or was it just Katsu?
Once or twice through the PQ. I don't remember specifically what rounds. I mean, I was kind of off and on watching it. I was kind of busy, but
now Zen did pick up some LL points because there was a PQ Plus in Dallas.
Yes,
that he won. It was a smaller one.
Matt McInnes,
but it is notable that in his first weekend and Enigma's first weekend, they have points already, and New came really close to getting points too, right? She was sitting in the top 8s. So all 3
she
heroes
had 2 slots in the top 8.
And I think this set is incredible, honestly. Zen feels really close to being like unpleasant to play against, but it feels the same as Katsu. Katsu's been here for a while, so I don't really have that many problems about it. But it's nice to see a set where all 3 heroes that were printed in it are all having an impact on the meta.
You know, if Zen is this good, are the gloves, the legendary gloves that came out in Mistveil, actually playable?
Yes and no. One, I don't think the crayon eating eat all the bonds in one turn version of Zen is going to be the primary Zen that you see. I think you're going to see a more value focused Zen that tries to grind you down a little bit and then suddenly blocks with all its gear, has the giant hand, hits you for 25 to 30 in one turn. In that hand, the gloves block for approximately 3, sometimes 4, which isn't bad, right? Because if they Art of War, throw the Descendant Gust Wave, you put on the gloves, and then they have to go, if I only have this one bonds, if I break chain, the bonds isn't online anymore. So they have to throw the bonds, and the bonds gets -1. And then the bonds is going to get a card that they can't break chain or they lose it. So the gloves block for 4, even in that instance. But normally I feel like you're in the playtesting that I've done, you're throwing them at the 100 wins turn where you think they're going to play 200 or 300 wins in a chain. And you're just getting like 3 value off of it there to just make sure you get the value. It is good. I think those are better gloves than I thought they were going to be. And funny haha, like Bolton catches a bunch of strays. Because those gloves are pretty rough on V for the Vanguard.
What's the name of them?
I don't know. We just call them the Infinity Gauntlet.
I can't remember.
Wait,
now I'm actually having to look it up.
The new gloves,
the legendary arms that came out in Mistveil, Stonewall Gauntlets,
Gauntlets or something.
I think they're good.
This is the one where attacks get -1, yeah.
Yeah. If the attack was higher than its base, all attacks for the remainder of the chain get -1. So you could just break chain.
Oh, it's only $18.
Oh.
Yeah, when this defends an attack with power greater than its base, opposing attacks get -1 this combat chain, blade break 1.
I'm gonna buy one. If I don't get one out of my case, if I don't get one out of my case, I'm just gonna buy one. $18.
It's definitely
it's $18. That's
it's definitely worth buying.
Pickup.
It rides that Vambraces of determination line, right? Vambraces was like worthless until suddenly there's a meta hero where it's good. The first time we get someone who has to hold the chain in order to be effective, these gloves are going to be amazing.
Generic, like all you have to know is it's generic. It's a generic legendary. Most generic legendaries will have their day. Like it's generic. It's 100% universal across
their day
the
might
board.
not be forever, like Arcanite Skullcap, but
that card will eventually come back.
No.
I don't think so.
No.
You get extra block if you play it right with your life, and
no, you don't.
You get that sweet AB.
You
get the 2 block, and then you get the 1 block. You get 3 total block, and you get AB3. There you go. Arcanite Skullcap. I'm in on it. I got a whole just like fridge full of them.
Who do you AB3 against?
The new one coming out. The one that doesn't exist yet. That's spooky scary, right? It's foreshadowing.
I mean, when the Aether Wildfire comes out, are you going to be lower life than the Kano? Because that's really weird game state if you are.
You're not blocking anything from a wizard anyway in terms of that with that card. So, like, let's be real. Like, you're not getting any of that block value unless somehow these wizards are throwing out attacks. Right? Well, yeah.
Nah, Arcanite Skullcap, I think, was a weird card design, and they were being careful at that time with, like, the value you get from a headpiece. And then later they said, nah, we're just going to give people free cards all the time from the headpiece.
It's coming back. Don't worry about it. James is sitting there somewhere figuring out how to make it's from Everfest.
I'm going to be for real. I don't want to be in a world where I need AB3. Like, actual AB3 on a headpiece. Please take me out. Like, AB2.
But it also blocks. It's okay. It's the best of both worlds. Put it in the sideboard.
There was also a Levia
picking up sideboard slots.
So a Levia picked up Living Legend points as well this weekend, which is really cool. And I'm not surprised because Shadow Realm Horror is also kind of crazy.
It's a broken card.
Also not too expensive. $6 or $7 right now. Pick it up.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. That's another card. If I don't get out of my case, I'm just gonna buy.
Yeah, not too pricey. You gotta understand a lot of contention for the newer heroes, right? So things like that are gonna get overlooked.
To me, unless people are just buying a ton of product to look for the cards for the new heroes, and they're just like, Shadow Brute, get this out of here. Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like anybody that's that hyped for Mistveil would be paying attention to what's actually good from Mistveil.
Yeah,
And that card is cracked.
it is, but yeah, $7, $7 right now.
Wow.
It's on rate at its floor, 2 for $7. At its
Okay,
floor,
we've talked
it's on
about it
rate.
enough.
Yeah.
We need to actually read it. Shadow Realm Horror.
Yeah, I'll read it out loud. February. I got it up here. For the audience, Shadow Realm Horror is a 2-cost 6 red card, blocks 3. As an additional cost to play this, banish 3 random cards in your graveyard, so it's in with the full Leviathan flavor of all the cards from Monarch. If one or more cards with 6 or more power are banished this way, this gets +1. Bring it up to 7. 2 or more, this gets Go Again to turn it into a 7 Dread Screamer. 3 or more, you may play a card banished this way this turn. So the nuts is that you banish a Graveling Growl or a Diabolic Offering, and you get to throw a 2-card 13 or 14.
Oof.
Yes, it is
Super fair.
And on a Blood Rush Bellow turn, it's even more fair.
Yep. Those are some Leviathan
And if you
numbers.
banish a Shadow Realm Horror with a Shadow Realm Horror and get to do it again,
boy.
it can do some. There is some really high roll potential with this card. Also, the art is fantastic.
Oh yeah,
that's what we call a grand slam.
Yep. I mean, the art for this card is really cool and it also kind of makes you really worried about what is going on in Solana. Because I think this is a very much a story card as well as a just expansion card for Leviathan. It's kind of because we have some flavor text on Emissary of the Moon, I think, where they're talking about that Solana is not having a great time at the moment.
Well, yeah. Yeah. But that just kind of goes along with what happened in Dusk Till Dawn, too. I mean, the last thing we got story-wise from Dusk Till Dawn was the Leviathan transformation, right? When she transformed into Plasmafet.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the last bit of story that we got from that. So we're still waiting.
Don't forget, they're out there slaying angels. One of the best cards ever created. Slay.
I mean,
talk about another card, by the way, down the road. It's going to be worth having. Poison the Well, right?
No.
Slay. I've got binders full of them. I'm James. I'm waiting.
When I play, if I go back to Dash.io, I'll give $5 for the first person to kill me with Poison the Well.
I'm right here.
You got it. That's a bounty.
It will happen. They're gonna come out with the ultimate life gain hero, and it's gonna be like
go to the bank and get you a nice crisp one,
crispy
$5 bill.
I'm holding you to it.
If I play that like Hail Mary, Tome of Findle for like 5 life, and you go, how about -5 life? I'll go get you a $5 bill. I'll give you $1 for each life I lost. How about that?
I'll take it. I'm willing to put.
Now I'm gonna have it in my sideboard like at every armory ever.
I'm willing to have it there just for that moment.
I mean, I want $5. Why not?
Who else
You'll
is
know
it
what card is sitting in my arsenal
like,
the entire game.
It's like Kano.
It's not good yet.
It's like just Kano and Dash.io.
It's good later. There's no way they wasted a majestic slot on that without saying down the road they're gonna need this. Like, come on, it's foreshadowing like crazy.
They do foreshadow with a lot of their cards.
Nobody prints a card that says that.
They did print Snag and literally give it nothing to target for like
it was
a
like
year
90,
and a half or 2 years.
It was like 90 cents for forever. I'm telling you, James, I got you. I'm picking up. I'm on the same wavelength. I'm over here reading these cards like that's it. One day, I've got buckets.
I think the only real card that's like screaming something right now is Kindle. Kindle is definitely saying that the keyword amp is going to do something.
I'm actually gonna buy a lot of Kindles, like a lot of Kindles, like just like Larry's Game Store with 59 of those. I'm gonna get me a lot of Kindles.
The only card from Mistveil that really stands out to me as screaming about the future is Blanche. And that's just because of the art.
Blanche is good now, but Blanche will be good.
Blanche is
I'm not talking
good
about, like,
now.
the
Blanche
card's
is a good
playability.
card,
I'm talking
though.
about just the thematics of it. And
The ley line.
what it implies.
I
And
would-
gravekeeping.
So, if you're going to play Blanche in your deck, you want to know what card hits the Mystic Heroes better in that set? Weakest Link.
Well, I think that's another card. Weakest Link I put on my radar. That ley line card where you have to play one of every color I put on my radar. I put Kindle on my radar. Like, those are cards that were made for a reason.
Weakest Link is pretty good.
That
So,
Weakest
Link,
is pretty
It is
good.
G.
Yeah, it's a 2 for 6, 3 block.
Already
It's
pretty
generic. When this hits a hero, look at their hand, choose a card without base defense. If you do, they discard it and you draw a card. Hit the Art of Wars. You hit the instants, all the instants that people use, notably all the Transcend cards. You hit like a good portion of Prisms. You get all Prism's angels and some of her auras. You hit so many cards in Enigma. You hit a ton of cards in Enigma. Hits Manifestations of Miragai. It hits Restless Coalescence. It hits Waxing Spectre. All the Transcend cards. Yep. There's some applications to this card.
It's gonna have its day, but Bingo will have its day first.
What are you on, dude?
It's out of Everfest, and Everfest cards always spike. Bingo's always
He
my
just likes
go-to.
it because it says winner, winner, chicken dinner at the bottom.
I just like it because it's some weird random crapshoot where like your opponent has to show you some random card and they're like, well, I guess I have to give you go again. You're like, yes.
Yeah, give you go again with the last card in your hand and you have no resources floating. Sick.
Bingo, but you get to say it too. It's for flavor points.
The flavor isn't saying bingo, it's playing it for lethal and saying winner, winner, chicken dinner.
That's the only correct way to play it. Yes.
You could raise a reflex this. If they show you a non-attack action and you draw a card, you go Razor Reflex. And then you could say winner, winner, chicken dinner.
It's a 1 cost 5 for 3.
No, it's not good. The card's terrible.
I'm with you, James. I know what you got.
Not every card is good, man.
They all are.
Not every card in the TCG can be good.
We need some.
Not yet.
There's some duds.
We need some bad cards. We also need role player cards, right? And
they've got plenty of
Bingo
bad
does
cards.
neither. Bingo is not good, and it doesn't play any role.
They've got enough bad cards like Unified Decree. Don't worry about it. We can leave that one back.
And Everfest is an expansion set, right? That's not
or
a
United
standalone.
We Stand. Also bad.
That card is just unplayable. It wasn't even a draft card.
Bingo has, I'm telling you, there's a secret sauce for it later.
Okay.
Well,
let me say.
I just realized we are way off in left field here.
It's okay.
We were talking about the battle hardness.
I got one more thing I want to ask. If you had a chance to either play Censor or Bingo, if you say Bingo, you're lying.
And I didn't know what my opponent's playing. Like, if I knew what they were playing, I just censor whatever card I don't want to see. But if I was just like, well, I don't know what to call.
Is it turn
What do you
0
mean you don't know what they're playing? Are you
over?
sitting down to a game of Flesh and Blood blindfolded?
Yes.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Look, I have this weird feeling about these cards. And I'm telling you, Bingo.
That's probably gas, buddy.
Bingo's the future.
You need to take some Beano.
Yeah. You might want to get a carbon monoxide sensor in your room or something.
That's what that beeping's been this whole damn time. Oh man.
Anyway, okay.
I
I
really
think
like
the
that
fact
cards.
that we're traveling out of left field means we're out of purposeful things to talk about. Right?
do
You got
have-
anything
I
else?
don't really have much of anything else.
We do have the 5v5 against the Tavern
Oh, yeah.
Brawlers.
Yeah, Tavern Ballers.
Tavern Brawlers. We're playing it in 3 days. From when we're recording now, that'll be a Thursday for us.
No idea what I'm doing.
I don't know when and where that exactly will be posted, but I'm pretty sure we'll record it and post it somewhere.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, it'll be another 5v5. Hopefully we get some retribution this time around. We lost the last one.
We did.
And then we also have a local event coming up, a Realm Invitational on August 17th of this year. where you could pick up some realm invites to go to the realm rumble at the end of the year. Usually that's in December. So if you're in the Southeast area, make sure you save some space on your calendar on August 17th and come play Flesh and Blood with us and win some prizes and maybe pick up an invitational to a really sweet tournament.
Absolutely. Save some room in your binder for all the bingos and poison the wells I'll give away, because they will be worth money later.
Because they're
Door
worthless.
prizes.
He's giving them
Those are
away
the door
'cause they're
prizes.
worthless.
No.
I'm trying to let other people get in on it before I corner the market on them. Okay.
You know that Gravity Falls meme? He holds the piece of paper up and says, "This is worthless." Yeah.
You drove 2 hours for a bingo.
It's not even a foil.
It might be. Who knows?
Oh man. Okay.
Oh, dude.
Anything else, guys?
No, pricing still to be determined on that though. We'll work whatever we get a preliminary number, and we figure out like the actual amount
Yeah,
of
I'll
players
have
or
an
whatever.
event link. I'll announce when we have the event link, and it'll start going into the YouTube description, and hopefully we can start getting people
Pre-registered. and
to
stuff.
pre-register. I'll also make
Yeah.
a Facebook link so people can click the "I'm interested" button to help us get an idea of numbers as well. But
Yep,
that'll
we
come
could do-
soon. I don't want to do it too
Yep.
early because I don't want to just kind of disappear into nothing. So that'll
Yeah,
be probably the end of this month. I think when I start really hard advertising it.
I like that.
Yeah, because it's only like 2 months away. So
Okay, I'm done. I have nothing else to advertise.
yeah, I'm good.
Where can everybody find you, Donnie, on social media?
Draco Hominus 87 everywhere social media is sold, with the exception of fabric.gg, where you can find me as Donnie K, and a couple of different article series that I write. The next one is a UPF brew on Valda, probably the
Ooh.
strongest UPF hero that I've written about so far.
Is it like draw a card Wombo?
It's Earthlord Bounty.
Yes. That's all I have to say.
Earthlord Bounty is a card.
I mean, I like wonky things.
I think it's good. Anyway, you could find me at Wet the System Fab on X and Wet the System pretty much everywhere else. So
I am Big Max Fab on Twitter and twitch.tv/BigMax. And if nobody has anything else, thank you guys for all the subscribers. And we're almost at 150. It's semi of a milestone. So just do it. Just hit the button. Just hit it. Just hit it twice, and like you've done it. Other than that,
don't hit it twice.
well, I mean,
Okay,
hit it more.
if any of the listeners have a suggestion on the next UPF hero that I write about, put that in the comments. Let me know, because I've kind of just been pulling them out of thin air. If somebody has something that they actually care about and want an idea of where to start,
I'm glad
hit
you
me
brought
up.
up the listeners, because the one thing at the very beginning I said I wanted listener feedback. Send me your 3.0 new limited decks. If you're listening to this and you have a 3.0 new limited deck, send it to me, because I don't know what it looks like.
Send it to them, and
Oh,
we're gonna
yeah. Cult of New Discord. Yes.
Cult
Yep.
of New. Join the Cult
Or
of New.
or take it to the Cult of New Discord. That's even
Yeah,
better.
That's actually
Yeah.
way better. We could talk about it in there, and then we're gonna put up a Twitter poll. What you think is gonna go up first, bingo or poison the well? I want to hear everybody's feedback on that, because let me tell you, they're both going through the moon. That'll be the option 3.
Okay.
Thanks everybody for joining us. We hope you enjoyed catching up with us this week, and if you did, subscribe or follow depending on where you found us to catch us again. Until then, take care of yourselves, and remember, we are all siblings in cardboard. And remember, New
Discard
can
your
take
cards.
yeah, well, you gotta, because New can take your pummel. I promise you. She plays Command and Conquer. You think it's just 6? She takes that blue. Discard them and DT.
Yeah, make sure you
Put 'em back.
D-cheese.
Don't forget the D-Chi. Really important.
Please don't get the IP.
Man, it might be worse than that.
Bingo.